Hi, I'm Angela, and welcome to my channel, Befriend and 10. So this is my third year of choosing a word of the year instead of setting a bunch of New Year's resolutions, and I really love it. My last two words were visibility and release, and they really helped me create a lot of positive change in my life, unlike the previous 4 decades where I would set a whole bunch of New Year's resolutions that were way too ambitious and way too specific, and I would end up abandoning them by February. I think a word of the year is so much more effective than resolutions because resolutions tend to be binary. You either keep your resolution or you fail. And with the word of the year, it's all about the process, the journey, the steps you take along the way. So you have 365 days to take steps, and some days you might take a bunch, and other days maybe not so many. But again, at the end of the year, you end up with something that you'll feel proud of. So if you're interested in choosing a word of the year for yourself, I have 3 tips to help you choose your word and 3 tips to help you activate and implement the word throughout the year. So the first method for choosing your word is the easiest, and it is to go with your gut. You might be listening to me and you might have a word in mind that seems really appealing, and by all means use it. This is actually the first year that my own gut chose my word for me. My word is simplicity, and it feels so right for every area of my life. The second method is to brainstorm words using any of the following 5 questions. Number 1, what do you need or want more of in your life? Some possible words might be peace, prosperity, balance, or connection. Number 2, what emotion would you like to feel more of in your life? And this is actually kind of related to the first question, except you're naming specific emotions like joy, excitement, or love. The third question is, what core values would you like to embody more of in your life? This might be faith, environmentalism, creativity, or your family. The fourth question is more action-oriented, and it is, what do you want to do more of in the upcoming year? Some words that come to mind might be exercise, run, write, or nourish, as in eat more healthy and nutritious foods. And finally, the fifth question is, what skills or characteristics would you like to cultivate within yourself? Some possible words might be focus or clarity or diligence or boundaries. And last but not least, method number 3 is to use Google or any search engine of your choice and search for word of the year. And you'll come up with a bunch of different PDF files and lists of words. And you can print those out, and then you can look through them and circle any of the words that appeal to you. So if you use method 2 or 3 and you have a bunch of words, at this point you want to try and narrow it down to between 2 and 5 words. And once you do this, I promise you that any of those words will be an excellent word for you. I don't want you to spend too much time agonizing over what the perfect word is, because what that does is it tends to have you abandon the whole project altogether, or you might decide to choose 3 or 4 words, and that's really a terrible idea because it dilutes the power of the word and it splits your energy, and those words end up being like your New Year's resolutions where they get abandoned. So I want you to choose just one word. And one way to do this is to write each word on a slip of paper and put it into a bowl, and then you can pull out a word. And then before you actually read it, check in with yourself and see if you have an idea of what you're hoping that word will be. And if you do, then you know that's your word and you don't even need to open the slip of paper. And if you don't, you can open the slip of paper and let that be your word. Again, any of the words that attracted you is going to be a good word. I mean, honestly, you could probably open a dictionary and choose a word, and you could make that work for you. But of course, it's more fun when the word feels personally meaningful. Now, once you have your word, you're going to want to put it to work for you. So the first thing you want to do is to really sort of plant the word in your mind. And one way I like to do that is to do a word study. So I'll take my word and I'll pull out the dictionary, because I love books and I love dictionaries, and I also have a thesaurus, and I'll pull those out and I'll look up the meaning of the word and synonyms and just really reflect on the word itself. And then I will take a wheel of life, and I have my own personal wheel of life, but you can use any wheel of life that breaks up your life into different areas. And then you're going to reflect on how you could apply your word to each of the different areas in the upcoming year. Now, I really like trying to apply my word broadly across all of the different areas of my life. However, I have a girlfriend, and she had a word last year which was strong, and she applied it to just one area of her life, which was her body. And by keeping the focus so narrow and specific, she was actually able to implement a tremendous amount of change in that area. I mean, she's super strong and very healthy now. And, so if that idea appeals to you more to apply it to just one area, then by all means, do that. So the second strategy is to make your word as visible as possible. And my favorite way to do that is with jewelry. Last year, I bought jewelry off of Etsy that had my word of the year stamped across the metal. This year, I made my own. I have these little glass beads. So I did that, and I am wearing my word of the year on my wrist. If you made it this far in the video and you've chosen a word of the year, I would be happy to send the first 5 people who ask a free beaded bracelet with their word. Check the description below for more details. Other ways to make your word more visible include using your word as a password for your computer, or creating a vision board, or printing out quotes related to your word and pinning them next to your computer, or taping them next to your mirror, or putting them on your fridge, or any place where you'll come across it and see it. Finally, it's important to schedule some time in your calendar, maybe every week or at least once a month, to review your word and look over what you've written about how to apply your word, and to reflect on how the word has been working out for you and what you might do differently in the upcoming week or month. And finally, the third strategy for implementing your word of the year is to actually use it when you make decisions by asking yourself which choice is most aligned with my word of the year. This is an incredibly effective way to make your word count. And this is not to say that you or I will always choose the choice that is most aligned with our word of the year. But by asking the question, we are much more likely to do that. So good luck. I would love to know what your word of the year is, so please leave a comment below, and I hope 2023 has wonderful things in store for you. Happy New Year!